morning everyone. This is Jyoti Bhagat from Times Tech Print Media. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Varun Manwani. He is director of Sahasra Group of Companies. Mr. Varun, hi.
Namaste and hi.
A very warm welcome in our show Times Tech Talk.
Thank you so much.
Sir, it's really very nice welcoming you in our show. So, sir, we would like to know how it all started and how is the Sahasra journey so far?
Okay, a lot of people usually ask us what is the meaning of Sahasra. So let me explain that because that's where it started.
Yeah.
So basically Sahasra is a Sanskrit word and in Sanskrit means millennium. So we started in the year 2000 and therefore that's where we began our journey. So now we are almost 21 years old and we have been in this electronics business over the last 21 years. Long before the government announced this slogan of Make in India, we can proudly say that we've been manufacturing in India, for India and for the global market since the year 2000.
Okay. So please explain to our viewers that about your product and the offerings in Indian market and
Right.
global market.
Right. So as I mentioned that Sahasra is an electronics company. We have been there over the last 21 years now. We are manufacturing electronic products in different categories. Most of the categories are what we call B2B categories. So the first of them is called PCB manufacturing. For a lot of people who may not understand PCBs, so PCBs are this green colored printed circuit board which is behind any electronic gadget. A lot of people refer to them as a motherboard.
Yeah.
So that's what a PCB is called. The second is we are in this business vertical called EMS, which means Electronic Manufacturing Services. In that basically these PCBs get populated with the electronic components.
Okay.
So the industry is known as EMS, or as loosely people term it as PCB assembly.
All right.
The third vertical is that we are in LED lighting. However, our LED lighting operations we carry out in a country called Rwanda, which is in East Africa. The fourth vertical that we have is memory solutions. So we manufacture memory products such as USB drives or what you call pen drives, micro SD cards and solid state drives. Solid state drives are basically a replacement of hard disks which are used in computers like laptops, desktops, etc.
Okay.
And then the last vertical is a complete product portfolio for high-tech products such as automotive dash cams, motherboards and servers, industrial tablets and industrial panel PCs. This entire vertical is through a joint venture we signed with a very large Taiwanese company called Mytac Synex Corporation back in 2017. And so we have access to their product portfolio in terms of manufacturing and distribution in India.
Okay.
So these are our 5 product verticals, and I'm proud to announce that last year during the pandemic in the year 2020, in July we incorporated a new company by the name of Sahasra Semiconductors.
Okay.
It's the first of its kind company in India in the private sector, and the product that we will be making is called semiconductor packaging. So there is no semiconductor packaging industry in India today, and therefore we will be the first company doing this. However, we'll be manufacturing or rather packaging these semiconductors for the memory industry. So it is known as NAND flash IC.
Okay.
So when we talk about memory, everybody talks about data storage. So while so much of data is getting collected, but it has to be stored. And so this particular package is where the memory actually gets stored. So for example, even this video recording or any pictures or anything that we take, it all gets...
the data space thing?
The data, yes, absolutely.
Sure. So where the manufacturing plant will be?
Right. I'll give you a slightly bigger background.
Sure.
So we currently have 3 manufacturing facilities.
Yeah.
2 of them are in Noida, and 1 manufacturing facility is in Rwanda, East Africa, which is where we do the LED lights.
Right.
The other 2 are here in Noida, and we are in the process of setting up 2 new manufacturing facilities. One again is within Noida, which is adding up to our export portfolio because, as I said, we do a lot of exports. And the second one will be in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan, which is where we will do our semiconductor packaging business.
Okay.
The first one should be operational by April 2021. That's within Noida. And the one which is in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan will be operational by October 2021.
Which is in Elasina manufacturing cluster.
Yes, that's part of the Elasina manufacturing cluster. A lot of members got together and we took up this land from the Rajasthan government with the help of central government funding as well. Unfortunately, there were some delays, but at the end of the day, things have worked out. Although a bit late, but it worked out. So we incorporated this company, as I said, in 2020. So this is at the Elasina cluster, which is basically just bordering between Haryana and Rajasthan. Yes.
Yes. If I may ask, you have mentioned many products which you manufacture. So which particular product seeks the maximum traction from the customer point of view?
Right. So in our businesses, if you look at the entire portfolio, our EMS or the PCB assembly business is our largest revenue generator. However, if you talk about the consumer touch point, then our memory solutions, that's the USB drives, the micro SD cards, the SSDs. From a consumer touch point, that's the bigger business where it's a B2C product. And then when we talk about more high-tech products, then the motherboards that we manufacture for servers, that's the most high-tech product. So I would say there are different touch points. One is from a B2C standpoint, one is from a high-tech product standpoint, one is from a revenue generation standpoint. Now the motherboards that we're doing, these are very high-end motherboards for servers. They are much more complicated than regular motherboards we see in desktops or laptops. These are very high-end because of their performance, because of their size, etc. And again, we are probably one or two companies only in India that's doing it. So we started the motherboard manufacturing in 2019. Unfortunately, 2020 was a washout for most companies, and so the demand was slow. But again, at the start of this year, the demand has increased quite a bit. So our volumes and our portfolio will expand in the motherboard business, and we will start even exporting motherboards by the end of this year.
All right. So what kind of the key focus areas will be for the next 6 and 12 months, if I may ask?
As I stated earlier, we are in different business categories. So for us, all the business categories are focus areas because they are all individual
focus
products.
Areas for the vertical, if I may ask.
Yeah, so all verticals have their own focus because they are our business concept has always been to de-risk ourselves, whether it be de-risking from a specific vertical, whether being de-risking from a specific market, or de-risking with specific customer. So all the markets or all the product categories I told you are very separate. They're correlated, yes, but they are separate. So focus for us is there in all areas because everywhere we are seeing growth. Today in India, there is a demand for almost everything. So we see growth in every area. But if I were to pick up one or two of these verticals which will really drive things forward, it's definitely the semiconductor business because that's going to be a mass volume business because the demand for that memory package is there everywhere. The secondly, all the consumer facing businesses such as the memory products, the USBs, SSDs, micro SD cards, and our automotive dash cams. That's another very interesting area because automotive dash cams, when we launched in India back in 2018, absolutely novel concept. People were not aware of it. So it took a couple of years for us to educate the market. But now we see a lot of traction, there's a lot of demand because obviously people are traveling overseas. So they are seeing these products overseas. Other competitors have come in, which is very healthy for the market, that the market is getting built up. And again, in those dash cams, we are today one of the only one or two companies that is actually manufacturing it in India. So we see a lot of traction there. And I think that is going to be a high...
Traction is from India and it's from the more from the foreign...
No, it's from India. We are not exporting these dash cams yet. So the traction we are seeing in India. Absolutely
That's
India.
very interesting.
And we have a portfolio, right from sub 3,000 rupee level product, right up to a 16,000 rupee product. So we are seeing demand in the entire range. So obviously as people are their aspiration level goes up. They want to have more high-tech products. Everybody wants to stay connected. At the same time, you want to be safe. So all that benefit is available with these dash cams because it basically records what happens outside of the vehicle, and there's a sense of safety, right? So that's the purpose of the dash cam.
Yeah. So other than the manufacturing side, if I may ask, the distribution side, what I can understand is you are doing the distribution by your own. But is there any future plan of getting some number of channel partners?
Absolutely. I think you're very spot on because we being a pure play manufacturing company, our focus used to always be on manufacturing.
Yeah.
But over the last 2-3 years, by bringing in products which are more B2C, we have learned what is required for the B2C market. So we are starting to put up touch points in place. We have already created some sort of a distribution channel for our memory products, the USBs, pen drives, etc. But we are now enhancing that, trying to cover a lot more channel partners in India.
Okay.
So the channel partners we are creating is for both. One is for our automotive dashcam business and also for our memory products business. The memory products are definitely much larger in scale because of the way the product is. It's a consumer product. Automotive dashcams will be still more specialized channel partners because it's still, the market is still very virgin, it's still very niche. But as it grows, we will increase partners. So we'll be doing online platform, offline platform. We're also going to work with some OEMs. We'll also be working with the government because the dash cams are, again, as I said, safety, security. There are a lot of advantages there.
Yes. Okay. So as you mentioned the government, and you have, in the earlier response you have also mentioned the central government.
Yes.
What kind of collaboration you have made so far with the government, and which are the states you are looking for doing the collaboration?
Right. In terms of states, well, our headquarters is here in Noida, which is in Uttar Pradesh, and so we have mostly been in this state. But this is our first move outside of the state, where we have taken up this land in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan. There are several more attractive states, as we all keep on hearing about the south. A lot of investments are coming in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, etc. So we'll probably look at that in the future. Although for now, we are kind of booked, if I might say. In terms of central government, first of all, I have only praises for the central government. Over the last few years, so many good schemes have come out, and schemes have come out. One, second is we have been able to take advantage of it. We've been applying for all these schemes. We have been recipients of all these schemes. So right when the MSIP scheme came out, we took benefit of that. Then as you yourself mentioned, that our facility in Bhiwadi, Rajasthan is in the Elsina cluster. So that's part of the EMC scheme. Again, by being there, we have taken benefit of that. And last year when we set up Sensor Semiconductors, we were recipients of the latest scheme, which is the PLI, the Production Linked Incentive Scheme, which has become one of the most popular schemes for the electronics industry as of today. So within that PLI, there is a lot of benefit that the government is giving, a lot more than they have ever given, and it's very, very welcome by the industry. And we can only urge the government to come out with other schemes similar to this in trying to support the industry, especially for domestic manufacturing, for R&D, for bringing in more technology, etc. So that we have a level playing field against our competitors from South America, from South Asia, Southeast Asia, from Eastern Europe. These are the low-cost countries, and so if we need to compete with them, we need more help from the government. It's not always in the form of a subsidy, but there are many other ways that the government can help in creating the right environment or having the right focus on a particular segment, etc. Just like the government has done for the mobile phone industry, and in India today is the second largest manufacturer of mobile phones. So there's a lot more that needs to be done in electronics especially. So I hope the government can help push things even more.
Any plan to associate or contribute in the smart cities? There are so many projects.
Well, some of our products are already going in smart cities, if not directly, indirectly. because the motherboards and servers that we are making are being used in smart city projects. Then even the dash cams are a smart device to have, and so and by the way, we are hopefully in the next few months we will be releasing or launching the new version of our dash cams, which I call the connected dash cams. So currently the dash cams that are available today from us or from others are mostly the dash cams which are not connected. They have no Wi-Fi. They have Wi-Fi, but they have not. They do not have 4G connections. But now we are going to launch the 4G connected dash cams. So there will be a lot of data transfer. Even more security features will be there. Our existing dash cams, by the way, also have ADAS features. ADAS is very well known in the automotive industry, where it is assisting the drivers in terms of safety, etc. So our connected dash cam will have that much more ADAS features. At the same time, there will be dual cameras so that the driver behavior is also being monitored. The telematics of the car is also connected to the dash cam. So it's going to be a much more, the platform is going to be a lot more higher, whereby there will be a lot more features available to the user, and you can have backup of data, etc.
Alright, as I can hear, this dash cam is a very interesting product. And so what kind of the marketing strategy and the go-to-market strategy, I can say, the branding strategies Sesra is following for making the customers aware of this dash cam?
Right. So as I told you that the dash cam was launched together with our joint venture partners. The brand is known as Mio, that's M-I-O. And we are, over the last couple of years, we did a lot of test marketing, we did a lot of educating of the customers, and we have now reached a point where we see that there is a huge traction in the market, and this is the point to grow. So our go-to-market strategy is going to be targeting the offline market through a distribution channel. We will definitely tap the online market through the e-commerce and other social media platforms. We are also going to work with the government through certain partners, because it's very important to be used in government vehicles or in public transport, etc. At the same time, we are going to also work with B2B companies, even from a gifting standpoint. It's a nice product to have, and a lot of large companies at the gifting time.
Kind of relationship building.
Absolutely, and also safety for your own people. So that's the concept here. So because you have a lot of peace of mind when you have this product in your car. And then we are also trying to work with insurance companies at the back end, so that they can reduce your premiums if you have this product available, because that's the concept overseas, especially like in countries like UK. The insurance premiums are connected to your dash cam. If you have a dash cam installed in your car, your premiums are lower, right? And then in some countries, if for example there is an accident and the dash cam does record that, that recording is used as evidence in court of law. So we are working in the background for these things to be developed in India. Yes, there are some concerns of security as well, in terms of if you have a dual camera, so you need to look at the cameras looking inside, so there are privacy issues. But therefore we are currently, what we have launched is all the dash cams which are outward facing. And therefore we are working in parallel with the agencies, so that we can, these kinds of issues we can mitigate. But till then, as I said, the focus area is in all these areas, so that we can educate the market, we can help people understand the features of dash cams. So both online, offline, all distribution is what we are working on. So even if you look at automotive vehicles today, maybe about 15-20 years back, there used to be 3-4-5% of the content of electronics in the car. Today that content has gone to about 30-35%, and in luxury cars it's almost 50%. So the content of electronics is going. Therefore, we need not necessarily come out with an EV vehicle of ourselves, but we are participating in that supply chain. Because we're an electronics company, so we are already providing electronic sub-assemblies to companies who are in the EV segment. So for example, we are already making electronic assemblies for a company in UK which is doing electric bikes, the cycles, right? And similarly, we are in discussions with some two-wheeler companies in India as well for providing the electronics to them. So yes, this sector is going to explode. I think we all see every few days there are articles or ads about companies in the two-wheeler, three-wheeler space that are coming up, and they all need electronics, because now the electronic content will in an electric vehicle is even higher, because the battery that runs an electric vehicle runs with the help of a controller, which is basically electronics. So there is a controller, there is a charger, there is something called BMS, which is known as the battery management system. So all of that is basically electronics. So yes, we are a part of the supply chain there, and therefore there is a touch point that we have.
All right.
Yes.
All right. As you mentioned in your earlier responses that there are already many players in the market, the semiconductor and manufacturing and others. So whom you are seeing as a competitor, if I may ask?
Well,
in the Indian market.
Well, we are the biggest competition for ourselves.
Yes.
Since we are in, we're such a varied or diverse portfolio of our businesses. So there is not necessarily one single competitor, I would like to say, because we are in different verticals, right? We are in motherboard manufacturing, we are in automotive dash cams, we are in PCB manufacturing. So yes, we are not necessarily the leader in all of these areas, but I would rather say that because we are also in exports as well as domestic, there are several competitors. When we export, the competition is China, other Southeast Asian countries. The competition is from South American countries like Brazil. For Europe, competition is from Eastern Europe, because they're the low-cost countries. So I would not necessarily say it's just one single company. There are different competitors in different verticals that we are playing in.
Is there any plan to set up the manufacturing plant in some other region other than Africa, East Africa?
At this stage, not yet. Especially since we are in the process of setting up these two new facilities, which is definitely taking a lot of investment, time, energy, etc. Other than that, we also have a small piece of land, about 5 acres, in another electronic manufacturing cluster in Greater Noida.
Okay.
Therefore, if at all, that will be the first land that we will develop after these new factories that are going to come up. So at this point of time, not yet, but let's see how things go, because it's a very dynamic world today. There are a lot of geopolitical changes that are happening, and therefore if some other market presents an opportunity whereby it makes sense to invest and put up a facility, we would be open to that.
Okay. How Sahasraa is into the skill development programs and collaborating with the government?
Right. So of all the businesses that I explained to you earlier, I did not mention the skill development. Our skill development business is another vertical for us. It works on our core concept of electronics. However, that's the only business that we have which is in the soft space. Almost all the other businesses that we do are hardware manufacturing, as you've already understood. But this is the only business that's in the soft services. So we are partnering with the government in training the youth or upskilling at existing companies, so that we can empower the youth or empower the existing manpower and upgrade their skills for making them future ready for the industry. There is a lot of investment happening in India in the electronic space in several areas, as you mentioned, EVs, mobile phones, IoT, machine learning, etc. So there are a lot of new skills that need to come up. But the fact is that while there is no dearth of manpower in India, but the skill gap is very high. So we are trying to focus on the basics, at the same time getting them industry ready, so that these new skills can also be honed upon subsequently. But that initial gap that exists has to also be taken care of. So we are training partners and members of ESSCI, which is the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India. That's under the National Skill Development Corporation. And so, as a training partner with ESSCI, we have already trained over 8 to 10,000 students over the last 5-6 years within the electronic space. And one of our USPs is that unlike a lot of other training partners, we are an industry. So our focus is less on theoretical and more on not only practical, but actual working environment. So we, even though it's a bit risky sometimes, but we let the students come down to our manufacturing floors and work on the actual lines and actual machines, so that they'll learn the real world working, rather than just sitting in a classroom and book knowledge, which they're already doing from their universities or their colleges or their diploma centers, etc.
Which are the universities?
So we are partnered with quite a few universities and colleges in the Noida, Greater Noida area. Other than that, we have collaboration tabs with various colleges in different states, in Maharashtra, Kerala, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, in several areas, in Uttarakhand, in Punjab. So different colleges, because they all have the same need. That we keep on talking about there's a gap between the industry and academic world.
Yes.
But we have always opened up our gates to let the academic world come in and be able to look at what actually happens in industry.
Yes.
And it's an eye opener for them, because they realize that this is very different from what exactly we are teaching. Which is fair, because theoretical is important in its own place, but the practical world is a bit different. So there are huge batches of students that keep on coming for whether it be a day program or it be a...
What is the duration of the program?
So the programs vary quite a bit. There are 1 week programs right up to 6 month and even 1 year programs. It depends upon how much the individual wants to learn, what subject they want to get into, how much they want to skill themselves. So it's all tailor-made to their requirement, and depending upon how much learning they have to do, that much of time they need to spend on in training.
Okay. So as this pandemic has affected the world, universe, so how this training program have been affected, and also the Sahasra had overcome with the new normal?
Right. Let me first answer about the training. I'll be very honest, that was affected very badly, because training is something where you actually need to be physically present.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the world has changed. Everything became online. Work from home, study from home, cook from home. Everything was happening, right? So even we took steps to bring in our training programs online, and we did that, and we managed to do it reasonably successfully. Obviously, the practical part of it was a big challenge, but we did work with some of our partners to be able to send physical kits to some of the students, and they could do some of the activities at home as well. Coming back to the Sahasra's manufacturing businesses, I must say that the management took a very serious position, because the fact that we are exporting to the world, and we are also making electronic assemblies for medical equipment, for ultrasonic equipment and other equipment that is in place, sensors, etc. So it was very critical for us to get our operations started so that we could support these customers in their own markets. And therefore, due to our the fact that we do electronic assemblies for the medical industry, we were able to get permissions from the required authorities, along with maintaining the guidelines that were in place at that point of time. And we were one of the early companies to start our operations. So I remembered distinctly that we started our operations on 7th of April last year, which is just about 15-17 days after the announcement of the lockdown. We started with a very small team of 20-25 people as per the guidelines at that point of time, and we were able to start our exports in April itself. So yeah, I think our people worked hard to be able to manage that situation. It was a very difficult time, and therefore it helped us manage our business. And at that point in time, when the domestic market was absolutely shut down, exports is what helped drive our business and maintained our pace. Obviously, by the time it was June and July, when everything started to unlock, everybody started to come back, because in manufacturing it's very difficult to work from home, and especially when you're in exports. And India had one of the strictest lockdowns. Overseas, their lockdowns were strict, but not as much as India. And therefore all their manufacturing entities were continued to run. So having the supply chain not be able to give material to them was a very big challenge. But I think all our customers appreciated that we were able to open up reasonably soon and ensure there was no disruption in the supply chain. And especially for the critical customers that were making medical or railway equipment, which was important to transport material from here and there, we were able to help them in that. And so the end result is that we should end the year with some sort of growth, which is a good enough achievement, because during this period everyone's expectation was that it will be a negative year. But we will be growing marginally, which is I think good for us. And secondly, our export business increased quite a bit during this period, and that's what helped us survive. And that's when I come back to my earlier statement of de-risking ourselves. So de-risking from markets, de-risking from countries, de-risking from customers. We always believe in having a diversified portfolio. So the fact that we had export, it helped us survive. Otherwise, if we were just a domestic player, we would have had a very bad situation.
All right. Okay, Mr. Varun, what kind of message you would like to give the young people and students you mentioned in the skill development program you have trained, and also our viewer and readers?
Well, talking about the students and the youth, I would say that as we are all seeing, India has become one of the startup capitals of the world. Maybe, it's number 2 or number 3 in the startup. So that's a very good signal that the youth is really moving in the right direction. At the same time, it's a very well-known fact that India is a very entrepreneurial country, which is probably from the fact that we're a democratic country, so that entrepreneurship has always been there. I would say dream big, and execute on your plans. Even if you fail, failure is another success. It helps you do better. So I don't think, and again, with today's world where it's completely globalized, we have everything on our fingertips, we should dream big, and we should look at achieving our ambitions. But at the same time, we should remain grounded. India is in this huge development phase, and therefore in a development phase, we have to also think about society, give back to society. And a lot of startups are working in that space, and a lot of people still need to look at that, because unfortunately there's still a large part of the population which is still in the lower income groups and which is poor, and we need to think about helping them out. So if I could encourage the youth to look at new businesses, new opportunities, new innovations to help that space, that would be a very welcome thing to have.
All right. Great. With this, I would like to thank you, Mr. Varun,
for
coming in our show, Tech Talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this valuable insights for our show and our viewers and readers.
Thank you very much for having me over.
Thank you so much.